So, about 2 years ago, I decided that I would make a video game. You see, 2020 was a wonderful year with a great surprise to us all. So, as a result of this, I spent the majority of my time in the couch, scrolling through YouTube, until one day, I came across a video by this channel, Ben Matrix, who was making a game called Equilinox and was sharing the entire process. I kept watching several videos and I was quickly hooked. More and more videos of game developers kept getting recommended until one day I decided I'm making a game. At the time, this game jam was coming up called the Community Game Jam. What's a game jam, you may ask? Well, it's an event where a bunch of people try to make a game from scratch in a very short amount of time just to increase their own misery for no reason. And you know, I thought this sounded like a lot of fun, so I decided to join. The theme was "The Game is a Liar." And I quickly came up with an idea of making a game about a witness lying about the suspect of a crime. Hey, I saw red and electrical. I had a week of making the game, and with minutes to spare, I managed to get this buggy mess done, where characters were randomly generated and you were supposed to guess which character the witness was not describing. Yo, red is looking kinda sus. But this is not actually the game that this video is about, even though it is technically my first game. Let's just pretend it's not. After the jam, I decided I wanted to make a real game, you know? A game I could show off to people. So this is how I made my dream game. You think I'm some noob or something? Didn't I just tell you I had watched so many game dev videos? If there's one thing I learned, it was to always start small. Making dream game as first game is a big mistake. So to keep myself under control, I set myself 3 rules. 1. The game should be easy to make. 2. There should be some procedural element. And 3. Sub maybe? Please? I want followers, please. With that in my head, I came up with an idea of just driving my car through a never-ending landscape that is collapsing and breaking apart the further you go. Also, there's a scary stone following you, forcing you to be on the move at all times. With my idea, I started the game with Blender. Not that one. Damn, much better. Since I had watched too many van life videos, I decided to make a classic Volkswagen wagon as the main vehicle. Okay, at this point you might be wondering how I just picked up Blender so quickly. Well, it turns out that when I was an ignorant 12-year-old child, I came across Blender and started modeling a bunch of stuff, thinking that that's all that you need to do in order to make a game. I actually found these renders a while ago that I had made during that time, and I must say, they were not as bad as I expected. Anyways, back to the game. When the car was done, I started up a Unity project to get it to drive. First, we're gonna need some code. The car should now be moving. Look, it moves just like car would. Okay, so this is actually looking good though. Why you do this? Okay, since I made this game 2 years ago, I don't actually remember how I solved that, but trust me on this one, it was a pain. But hey, look at that, it's now a car. No floaty wheelie. But if we have a car, we also need a road. I made a road spawner which would simply randomize the direction of the road and place the appropriate road piece there. Each road chunk would therefore be random, and in this way the game can be endless if I wanted to. Finally, I filled in the remaining pieces, which took no time at all. With that solved, I replaced the placeholders with my own road models. This is no game yet though. I mean, we need to have a challenge or something. Where is the obstacles? Let's add some obstacles. So I made some rocks, and I also made the actual storm that was following us. So we can die now. I then added even more obstacles and the ability to drift. Also, to make it even more fun, I wanted to add some pickups. However, instead of just adding coins, which is boring, I wanted the pickups to be extra passengers that you would save from the storm. I quickly modeled the character, and what the hell? What is this? What have I done? What have I created? Anyways, I made him flap his arms a little bit and threw him into random parts of the map. At this point, I'm like, yo, this works. Yay. But it could use a little of not looking like a dump, you know? After doing some research, I realized switching to the universal render pipeline in Unity would be the right move if I wanted to make the game look less. So I did that, and this happened. Yo, it's looking cyberpunk kind of vibe here. But after solving this material issue, I turned this ugly mess into this. I then made my first major mistake. I turned the game into a mobile game. You might be thinking like, what's so bad about that? Well, it broke rule number 1. The game would become increasingly harder due to a bunch of stuff, but I'll get to that later. But for now, I needed to change the input for the game. I worked on a bunch of different solutions, but finally ended up with this. And yeah, before you give me for it, I misspelled break. Sorry, but I'm from Sweden. Yes. This is where I'm from, that's why I sound like this sometimes. With my splendid generation system that I had created, I could quickly make 3 more levels by mostly changing the colors and adding some more specific assets. Most impressive is the final city level, which had randomly generated houses too. Look! Isn't this cool? Please say it's cool. I spent so much time on this, please. I made a main menu where you could select game mode, map and car. But now, needed a name. I gave it the name Carmageddon because car plus Armageddon. After a quick searching around, I realized this name was totally original and awesome. Carpocalypse. Yeah, that's totally the first thing I thought of. I implemented a score system, which worked so that the further you got, the more and harder the obstacles got. So in the beginning here, everything is quite chill. There's nothing except a few rocks. Then a few more rocks. Finally rocks everywhere. Then finally I modeled a bunch of extra cars and threw them in the game, and I also gave them some different speeds. At one point here I realized maybe I could make some money from this. Since it's a mobile game, I could just throw some ads in there. I didn't want anyone to pay any money for the game, but having some ads seemed fair. So I added them everywhere. Main menu, ad. Boss menu, ad. You die, add small chance. Unlock car for free, ad. Voluntary though. Retry from checkpoint, voluntary ad. Okay, so you might think this sounded a bit excessive, which I admit now afterwards it was. But why did I do it? Well, I wanted to get more money. Okay, no really. I just did not think the game was as hard as it was. So I underestimated the amount of ads people would see. When I play tested it, I got an ad maybe every 5 to 10 minutes. But I'll get back to these ads later, when we talk about money. So with the game basically done, I decided to post some game footage to Reddit, and they were like, yo, this game be looking real good for a first game. But the UI looks UI button design feels off for me. UI doesn't really fit in with the game. Looks very good, but damn. What is that UI design? Do you need help with that? So I changed the UI. I mean, it's probably still good, since I don't know UI design. But I think it looks a little bit more sleek. And that was the game. Now the big question is, will you subscribe? I mean, was it a success? Well, it depends. Commercially, it was a total failure. Since the time I released it over a year ago, I've made a total stack of about $4. This means I've technically not made any money at all, since it's only 4% of the minimum amount I need to make before I can get any money from Google. I believe there are a few reasons for this economic failure. I had no marketing or social media following, meaning no one knew the game existed. Also too, I did not have enough playtesters, which resulted in 2 things. The game was too hard, so all the noobs stopped playing before it got fun. And there were too many ads when you played as a beginner, since you would die a lot. I only realized this after I saw Jonas Tyroller's video when he played my game. Seeing his struggle and the amount of ads he got really taught me the importance of playtesting, so thanks Jonas for trying my game. Also, go check him out if you haven't done so. You might ask, why haven't I just done some changes to the game? Well, I'm lazy and was a little bit tired of a little car game now. And at the time, no one was actually playing the game. I saw no reason to do these changes. However, all in all, I'm very proud of myself for what I managed to do, and I learned a lot. I would still call the game a success. So for those of you who want to make a game but is scared of failing, just do it, but start small. Since this game, I have now switched to Unreal Engine, and I'm currently making a multiplayer horror game. So if you want to see more of me, check this video out. If you do want to try the game out, you can check it out in the description of the video. Thanks!